Welcome back to Undisputed. Kellen Watkins of the Dallas Morning News is calling the current Cowboys offense the most Dak-friendly it can get after selecting CeeDee Lamb in the first round of the draft. That didn't stop Jerry from signing Andy Dalton as a backup to potentially use as leverage against Dak in negotiations. So, Shannon, with all you've seen this offseason, how do you think the Dak negotiations end now?
They're still heading for the franchise tag. This notion, man, Jenny, people crack me up. This notion that Jerry Jones selecting CeeDee Lamb with the number 17 overall pick in the 2020 draft is going to convince Dak Prescott he's done less his first 4 years, now take less money. Dak like, okay, I really appreciate that, Jerry, but still I want my money. I want my money. I'm confused. Somebody needs to help me out. I like CeeDee Lamb, but they talking about CeeDee Lamb like he Randy Moss. Really? I missed it. I saw a lot of Oklahoma games. I did not see Randy Moss out there when I watched CeeDee Lamb. I'm sorry. Now, he might turn out to be better than Randy Moss, but by every metric, you'd be hard-pressed to find someone, regardless of whether they cheer for Green Bay, whether they cheer for the Bears, whether they cheer for Miami or whomever. Randy Moss is one of the top 3 receivers of all time. And people are talking about CeeDee Lamb like he's Randy Moss. Oh, did you see? Oh, this Cowboys offense is about to take off. Really? Now, they had 2 receivers go over 1,000 yards last year, Amari Cooper and Gallup. The other receiver that went to Houston, Skip, Randall Cobb, had 800 yards. So let me see. Okay, now Zeke's gonna bounce back and gonna have an extra 500 yards. So that's gonna give him 1,900 yards rushing. Amari Cooper gonna have an extra 300 yards. That's gonna give him 1,500. Michael Gallup gonna have another 1,400 yard receiving season. And they're saying that CeeDee Lamb's gonna have 1,400. How? Do you know how many yards that is? So can we slow down? Dak Prescott is not going to Skip. Dak Prescott doesn't see his value in other players saying, well, we got Amari Cooper and we got Gallup and we got this guy, so you take less money so we can pay everybody else. That's not how guys, Tom Brady thought like that. Let me take that back. Tom Brady thought like that. And at the end of the day, Tom said, after all I've done, this is what you reward me with. These new guys, Skip, nobody since Tom has thought like that. Drew Brees says, give me my money. Big Ben, Phillip Rivers, Eli, Aaron Rodgers, all these guys, Russell Wilson. My homeboy is not going to think, well, I need to save some money for Travis Kelce. I'm going to need 40 to 45 million. I'm going to need 100 plus guarantee with a $200 million contract. That's what's going to happen. So CeeDee Lamb has no bearing on Dak Prescott. I believe that Dak is headed for playing on that franchise tag because he has a number. He and his agent have a number in mind that he wants the Cowboys to get to, and I don't believe they're there yet.
Nobody that I know of, but I don't read all my Twitter responses like somebody I see through the camera here. Nobody I know of has compared CeeDee Lamb to Randy Moss. I'm having a hard time, as are you, that he's even being forced to wear 88, which might suggest he's Michael Irvin or Drew Pearson or even Des Bryant. The point is that it was a real possibility that Amari Cooper was going to sign with the Washington Redskins. I believe they offered at least as much, if not more money to Amari to sign with them. So you could have been down your number 1 receiver in yards caught last year, Amari, and you were already down Randall Cobb, who got overpaid to go to Houston because they'd given away DeAndre Hopkins to Arizona. So it's possible that if you went defense with your first pick in the draft, which was the distinct possibility, what if somebody had taken CeeDee Lamb above number 17? Well, it's possible you wouldn't have Amari or CeeDee right now. The point is, yeah, they're loaded at wideout right now. Would anybody argue that? Could you make a case they might, with their top 3 receivers, they might have right up there with anybody in the league with 3 receivers. We'll have to see how CeeDee produces. I told you before the draft, he's the best receiver in the draft. I told you he's a number 1 receiver, and if he rises into that number 1 slot next year with Amari as the 2 and Gallup as the 3, yeah, that's firepower. Go ahead.
So Skip, you make it so were they not loaded last year? You just told me last week they led the league in yards. They were one of the few teams that averaged 400 yards and won their games by at least 10 points. You told me that. So were they not loaded last year? So how many more yards? How many more catches? Randall Cobb had 55 catches, 800 yards. How many more catches, how many more yards is he going to give you than that?
Okay, here's the point in the question. Do you think CeeDee Lamb will be better than Randall Cobb ultimately in this league? I say he'll be better than Randall Cobb the first day he steps on an NFL field. That's how great he was in Oklahoma. That's how he projects.
Skip, you do know Randall Cobb went to the Pro Bowl, right?
I know all about it. I liked him last year. I thought he had a terrific year.
Yeah.
What are you going on record? I need you to go right now. I need you to go on record. Randall Cobb will ultimately be a better pro receiver than CeeDee Lamb. Help me out. I need you to go ahead and dig in concrete. Will you?
All I'm saying, Skip, listen, all I'm saying, Skip, is that before we anoint the next Randy Moss, we can't overlook what Randall Cobb did last year. Skip, he was unbelievable in Green Bay. Now, I'm not saying that Randall Cobb, but considering what had happened, he had been injured the last couple of years with concussion, had a knee injury. For him to come in, Skip, and he was the third option to give them 55 catches, to give them 800 yards, with Gallup outside, Zeke in the backfield. My only thing is, Skip, this goes to what you said about Dak signing. Skip, Dak is not saying, okay, y'all got me another weapon, so since y'all gonna need to pay him, I'm gonna take $5 million less. That's not how he looks at it. He's like, thank you, but I still want my money because I performed before he got here. That was the question.
Okay, now, my answer to Jenny's question is this. I now feel far more hopeful that Dak Prescott will sign with Jerry Jones sooner than later and not play under the franchise tag. The reason for that is not CeeDee Lamb, it's Andy Dalton. That was the steal of the year so far. Wait a second, Dallas got a guy that everybody had slotted to go to Belichick? Even you said on Friday's show, oh, he'll go to New England. Jerry got him for $3 million base. 7 total if he maxes out his incentives. That's incredibly great for a guy who won an average of 10 games a year his first 5 years in this league for the Cincinnati Bengals. He is now the backup / starting quarterback and the catalyst for this negotiation because I believe this will motivate Dak to make a deal, to compromise a little bit. And this deal will end up far closer to Jerry's final offer and current offer than to what Dak has been holding out for. Because Dak is going to see the handwriting on the locker room wall that, wait a second, Jerry now has a viable alternative. Cooper Rush was not viable. So you had Jerry Jones dead to rights. Jerry didn't want to go into the first couple of real games with Dak holding out and have to gamble on Cooper Rush, trying to win a couple of real games. Andy Dalton, Jerry will not flinch to go forward with Andy Dalton. So again, I'm hopeful that Dak will see the light. He will swallow a little pride. He will say,
why Jerry can't swallow pride?
Because he doesn't need to, because I told you from the start, and I'm right about this, and I will be proven right about this, Dak and his new agent are asking for out-of-bounds money, completely unrealistic, outrageous money that nobody in his or her right mind, if they knew the real number that Dak and his agent were asking for, holding out for, would say, yeah, Jerry should do that. Jerry is notorious for overpaying players, but this demand is so out of bounds that even Jerry Jones is saying, I can't do that. So he has finally drawn a line in the sand. And he's saying, no, I have a responsibility to Cowboy Nation and my fans and my football team. I can't wreck the salary cap for a young quarterback who's been very good but has not yet been great. He's played 3 playoff games, and he's 1-2 in the playoffs. Okay, so you have to pay him very good money, but you can't pay him beyond Patrick Mahomes' money. Now, Andy Dalton gives you the out. He gives you the fail-safe. He gives you the safety net of saying, Dak, I'm going to go this far. I'm going to make you, for now, the highest paid quarterback, but we're not going to try to project and pay you even more than Mahomes will ultimately get. But if you dig in, if you quote-unquote want to go to war with us, we've got an exit strategy. We've got Andy Dalton, who's made 3 Pro Bowls and taken 4 teams to the playoffs in Cincinnati. That will work. I'm good with that. As a Cowboy diehard, I'm okay with that plan B. I want plan A, and I still believe plan A is going to happen because of Andy Dalton. But if plan B has to kick in, I'm good with it because Andy Dalton could win 10 games with this team. He could get this team to the playoffs.
You keep saying that Dak is trying to go to war, but you guys started this war. When you went up there at the Combine 2 years ago and said Dak was going to need to give me a discount before you even started negotiating. So you already, how long, you going to fire in the DMZ zone, and then you're going to talk about, Dak wants war. Dak wants fair compensation. The question is, Skip, that I have for you is this out-of-bounds money on the old contract or the new contract the NFL is about to sign with this 17th game and this new TV contract? Is it out of bounds for that, or is it out of bounds by the old standard? Because the old contract does not matter.
The new standards. It's way out of bounds. Yes.